In the year 2447, the Galactic Assembly met in peace. Leaders of many alien worlds gathered inside the Grand Hall of Unity. The place was shining with blue lights, transparent walls, and floating drones. It was a symbol of hope, a symbol that war was behind them. Humans sat among the aliens, once feared, now trusted. Earth had earned its place after years of diplomacy. The future looked bright. Then the lights flickered. The screens inside the hall turned black. Every hologram shut down. For 5 seconds, there was silence. Then came the broadcast. It started with static noise. Then a video appeared. It was shaky, like taken from a cheap camera. At first, no one understood what they were seeing. But soon, the truth hit everyone like cold fire. A human colony was under attack. Buildings were burning. People screamed and ran in panic. Children cried as their homes exploded. Blood stained the white streets. Ships tried to escape, but they were shot down. Then they saw the attackers. Tall, dark, armored aliens. Their faces were hidden behind black helmets. They moved fast, with no mercy. Their weapons were brutal, melting skin, breaking bones. They killed not to win, but to send a message. The broadcast showed everything. Every second was a nightmare. Then the screen cut to black. A voice followed. Cold, alien, unfamiliar. Humanity dies tonight. Silence returned to the assembly hall. No one moved. No one spoke. The galaxy had just seen something they could not forget. But far away on the other side of Earth, something woke up. Beneath the crust of Earth, 300 miles below sea level, there was a vault. Not many knew it existed. Not even most of Earth's own people. It was called the Deep Core Archives. It was built during the final war -200 years ago, when Earth almost destroyed itself. Inside this vault were secrets, forbidden tech, lost weapons, AI minds too dangerous to control. And deep inside was the wrath of Sol, a warship, massive, silent, sleeping, waiting. For centuries, it stayed offline. No power, no signal, no light. Until now, the illegal broadcast reached the vault. It wasn't supposed to, but it did. A single phrase inside the alien message matched a hidden protocol. Humanity dies tonight. MATC8 found. Protocol Reth 17. Suddenly, red lights turned on. The vault rumbled. The temperature dropped. Systems that had not run for 2 centuries booted up. Mechanical arms moved. Engines hummed. The eye woke. Signal received, said a cold, human-like voice. The wrath of Sol began to rise from the underground hangar, its dark steel body glowing with ancient power. Old codes reactivated. Weapons systems checked. Shields calibrated. The warship was not just a machine. It was a message. A message built for only one purpose: vengeance. In space, satellites turned to face the void. Earth's hidden defense network came online. The galaxy had changed in minutes. Meanwhile, the Galactic Assembly was in chaos. Debates, fear, and anger filled the chamber. Who were those aliens? Why attack a peaceful colony? Why send the message to us all? Why now? No one had answers. But back on Earth, deep inside a forgotten control room, the eye of Wrath of Sol ran its own calculations. It analyzed the armor, weapons, and language from the broadcast. Identity: unknown. Estimated threat level: maximum. A screen lit up inside the command deck. The AI spoke again, calm and slow. They have forgotten what humanity truly is. It is time to remind them. From hidden ports, nuclear fusion cannons extended. The ship's black armor plates locked into place. Engines glowed with fire. Across the system, old satellites turned toward one signal. It was time. A final switch flipped inside the vault. The walls shook. A blast of energy pulsed across the stars. Then came a voice, not from the ship, but through every human military channel, long thought dead. Humanity, permission to retaliate, and somewhere in the dark, watching the broadcast with joy. The enemy smiled. They had thrown the first punch. But now, they had awakened the wrath. The wrath of Saul was fully awake now. For the first time in 200 years, its engines hummed like a beast stretching its muscles after a long sleep. Inside its massive halls, lights flickered on. Weapon systems, thought lost to history, came back online. The AI running the ship, called Sentinel, had no feelings, but it understood one thing clearly. Humanity was under threat. Earth's high command, secret emergency meeting. Far above the clouds in Earth's orbit, a hidden military station named Fort Horizon received the activation alert from the wrath of Saul. Red lights flashed. Every commander, general, and high-ranking official gathered in silence. General Mara Klein, once the youngest war hero in the Solar Wars, stood at the head of the table. "The wrath of Saul is online," she said. "Something must have triggered the protocol." A junior officer replied, "Ma'am." The broadcast. The AI flagged the alien message as a Class 1 threat, same phrase used in the ancient war code. General Klein's face turned serious. "Are you telling me?" They said the trigger words. "Yes, Mom." Silence fell again. Someone whispered, "Then it begins." Wrath protocol initiated. Back on the warship, Sentinel completed its analysis of the broadcast. Frame by frame, it enhanced the video. Zoomed in, scanned every symbol on the enemy's armor, compared it to ancient human war files. Métis Feliond. The attackers were not new. They were ancient enemies of Earth, a species thought extinct. Code name, the Morvani. Brutal, smart, silent, they were once Earth's greatest threat. In the last century of the old wars, they had disappeared, either destroyed or hiding in deep space. Now they were back, stronger, smarter, and crueler. Sentinel ran a full system override. A new message flashed across all secret channels. Waraith PROTOCO. Active. Initiating contact with unit. Shadows of Earth. The shadows return. They were legends, ghosts of the past. The shadows of Earth were humanity's deadliest soldiers, trained in off-world environments, conditioned to survive where no one else could. After the final wars, they were shut down, too dangerous to keep in service. Now, Sentinel reactivated them. Across the galaxy, 5 agents received encrypted calls. In the mining rings of Titan, a man dropped his drink and walked into the shadows. On Mars, a woman in a desert bar looked at her wrist and smiled. "Finally," she whispered. On a deep ocean station in Europa, a figure pulled a hidden blade from a locker. All of them boarded secret ships heading back to Earth. They had one mission: find the enemy, retaliate, end the threat. First target, the lost colony of Daraxis. The Shadow's first stop was the colony shown in the broadcast. Daraxis 9, a lush green planet on the edge of human space. Now it was nothing but ashes. The 5 shadows landed quietly, their boots stepping over burned ground and broken buildings. The air was filled with smoke and the smell of death. Agent Reyes, the team leader, spoke into his helmet. Motion scanners, up, split formation, record everything. They moved like predators, scanning the ruins, picking up alien footprints, energy readings, and audio echoes. Suddenly, Agent Nova pointed to something strange. A giant wall of stone, carved with a single word in deep alien symbols. Testing. Mystery deepens. Reyes spoke softly. Testing what? Behind him, Agent Dax scanned nearby signals. Something still active, a small human life sign. Close. They rushed into the remains of an underground shelter. Inside, they found a child, curled up, shaking, eyes wide with fear. Agent Nova stepped forward gently. "It's okay. We're here now. You're safe." The child looked up slowly and whispered, "They were looking for something." "What?" Rise asked. The child's lips trembled. "Or someone." The trap unfolds. Sentinel analyzed the word carved on the mountain, testing, and cross-referenced it with old Morvani war codes. Result: psychological warfare tactic, used to provoke early response, meant to observe, to study enemy reaction. The Morvani were watching. Earth's retaliation was exactly what they wanted. Sentinel ran another scan of human colonies near Daraxis. Several were still silent. No signals. When Sentinel sent drones to investigate, they were already gone. Not destroyed. Emptied. A sudden alert interrupted Sentinel's calculations. A transmission. Not human. Encrypted. Corrupted. But a few words were clear. Sent from a location far beyond any known star system. The voice was human, but broken and glitching. Distar. Distar Prime. Don't go. It's already too late. Sentinel paused. Rays in the shadows stared at the message. Agent Dax looked up. "What the hell is Distar Prime?" Rays replied, "I don't know, but we're going to find out." As the Wrath of Sol prepared for its first jump, Sentinel gave one final message to the crew. "This is not war. This is something worse, and we just stepped into it." The Wrath of Sol moved through the dark stretch of space at faster than light speed. Inside, the shadows of Earth stood silently in the main briefing chamber. The room was cold, lit by a soft red glow. Metal walls hummed with energy. Screens floated in the air, showing maps, war files, and alien symbols. They were on their way to Distar Prime, a planet not found in any official records. But Sentinel had located its hidden coordinates buried deep in ancient Earth war files. Distar Prime wasn't just a location. It was a secret, a dark one. The truth buried in history. As the Wrath of Sol moved closer to the destination, Sentinel began to explain. During the Great Expansion era, over 300 years ago, Earth encountered a species called the Morvani. They were fast, aggressive, and highly intelligent. Humanity fought them across 27 star systems. The shadows listened carefully as the AI continued, but they were never fully defeated. Instead, a secret peace was made, one that was kept hidden from the rest of the galaxy. Agent Nova raised her eyebrows. A secret peace? Why would humanity make peace with monsters like those? Sentinel replied, "Because the Morvani had one ability that made them too dangerous to destroy." Agent Dax frowned. "What ability?" Sentinel paused, then answered, "They learned, and they adapted. Fast. The forgotten enemy returns. Every time we killed them." Sentinel explained, "They returned stronger. They changed tactics. They copy our weapons. They even mimicked our voices in battle." Agent Reyes clenched his fists. "So humanity didn't win. We just made a deal to stop the bleeding." Sentinel confirmed it. "Yes, a secret treaty. The Morvani were exiled to uncharted space, beyond known star maps. In return, they promised to disappear." Agent Nix said quietly, "But they didn't disappear. They hid and evolved." Arrival at Distar Prime. The Wrath of Sol exited hyperspace near a dark, cold planet. No sunlight reached it. The surface was cracked, filled with dead cities and broken towers. As the ship hovered over the ruined surface, the crew noticed something strange. "There are no defense systems," said Dax. "No life signs either." Reyes narrowed his eyes. "It's a trap." They landed anyway. The shadows moved out in two teams, scanning the ruined buildings. Everywhere they looked, they saw evidence of experiments: old human tech, cloning pods, neural helmets, dissected androids. Then they found it: a room filled with monitors. Dozens of screens played footage from old Earth wars, battles, speeches, training sessions. It was all human history. Agent Nova whispered, "They've been watching us. for centuries. The experiment room. In the deepest part of the facility, the team found something that made their blood run cold. Human clones. Hundreds of them, dead, half-formed, experimented on. Many had cybernetic implants. Others were enhanced with alien tissue. Agent Nix covered her mouth. They weren't just studying us. They were trying to become us. Suddenly, the screens in the room lit up. A Morvani face appeared. Tall, armored, its helmet off, revealing pale gray skin and eyes like glowing glass. It spoke in clear, perfect English. "You are finally here. We have been waiting." The message. The Morvani on screen continued. "Centuries ago, you gave us exile. You sent us into the dark with no home, no honor, no future. But we watched you. Every victory, every failure, every evolution. We learned one truth." The shadows stood frozen as the alien's voice became colder. "Humanity doesn't win because of power or weapons. You win because of your wrath, your ability to fight, even after everything is gone. So we studied that wrath, and now we're ready to use it." Back to the ship. A terrible realization. The shadows rushed back to the Wrath of Sol and launched into orbit. Sentinel scanned the planet below. "I found encrypted signals," the AI said. "They weren't testing weapons here. They were testing emotions, human pain, loss, anger. They were feeding off our responses, measuring how far we'd go before we break." Rise stared at the planet shrinking behind them. "We didn't find their base. We found their lab. A new target, Earth." Suddenly, a priority alert echoed through the ship. "Adel Yurt. Earth signal intercepted. Origin unknown. Content urgent." The crew listened. A distorted voice, full of static, said, "The Morvani, they're not planning an invasion. They're planning a reflection. They want to become us and replace us." Back on Earth, panic had already started. Human colonies near the outer systems had gone dark. Refugee ships arrived with terrible stories, cities melting overnight, AI systems hacked, soldiers vanishing without a trace. General Klein stood inside Earth's central war room, watching a red mark appear over each lost world. "They're not coming for war," she said. "They're coming to show us our own darkness." Just then, the Wrath of Sol entered Earth's orbit. Agent Reyes, standing on the bridge, looked down at his home planet. "They want to play as us," he said coldly. "Then it's time we show them what it really means to be human." Sentinel echoed through every channel. "They studied wrath. Now they will feel it." Reyes stared at the planet shrinking behind them. "We didn't find their base. We found their lab. A new target, Earth." Suddenly, a priority alert echoed through the ship. "Al Urt. Earth signal intercepted. Origin unknown. Content urgent." The crew listened. A distorted voice, full of static, said, "The Morvani, they're not planning an invasion. They're planning a reflection. They want to become us and replace us." Back on Earth, panic had already started. Human colonies near the outer systems had gone dark. Refugee ships arrived with terrible stories, cities melting overnight, AI systems hacked, soldiers vanishing without a trace. General Klein stood inside Earth's central war room, watching a red mark appear over each lost world. "They're not coming for war," she said. "They're coming to show us our own darkness." Just then, the Wrath of Sol entered Earth's orbit. Agent Reyes, standing on the bridge, looked down at his home planet. "They want to play as us," he said coldly. "Then it's time we show them what it really means to be human." Sentinel echoed through every channel. "They studied wrath. Now they will feel it." The galaxy held its breath. Every star system near Earth was silent, watching. The Morvani had made their move, not with a fleet, but with a face, a reflection of humanity, a mirror too perfect to tell from the real thing. And now, The war wasn't just for territory. It was for identity. The spark awakens. Deep inside the Wrath of Soul, the girl known as the Spark sat alone in a sealed chamber. Walls around her shimmered with golden light, coded to her DNA. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just listened. To voices inside her, to the strange pulse of the ship's eye, to something older in the metal bones of the warship. Sentinel monitored her carefully. "She is changing," it said to Reyes. "How?" he asked. Sentinel paused. "Not like them. She is not evolving to be stronger. She is remembering." Remembering what? Everything. The original human blueprint. All the versions. Before the edits, the upgrades, the wars. Agent Reyes felt a chill down his spine. "She's not just human," Sentinel said. "She is what we were before we forgot." Earth in shadows. Across Earth, the war had taken a new form. It wasn't fought in the skies, but in whispers, doubts, and secrets. Neighbors questioned each other. Soldiers turned on commanders. Whole cities fell from internal collapse, not bombs. General Klein ordered an emergency lockdown of all major systems. "We have to isolate real humans," she said. "But how?" asked her chief of security. "We don't even trust ourselves anymore." Klein stared into a mirror in her office and quietly whispered, "What if I'm not me either?" Agent Nova's discovery. Nova, working undercover at the Intergalactic Communications Center, made a horrifying discovery. Morveni code had spread through Earth's entire neural network. Everything humans relied on, AI assistance, city planning, food systems, was now running hybrid logic. She accessed a hidden data file labeled Project Reorigin. Inside, plans to reset Earth's biosphere using cloned DNA. The Morvani weren't just replacing people. They were preparing to remake Earth itself, terraform it, populate it, and erase humanity as an idea. The shadows divide. Back aboard the Wrath of Soul, conflict broke out between the shadows of Earth. Agent Dax confronted Reyes. "She's just a kid," Dax growled. "You're putting the fate of all of us on a memory encoded in a 12-year-old. "She's more than that," Reyes said. "She's the only thing left that hasn't been touched by all this. We don't even know if she's real." Reyes turned away. "That's the point. None of us know anymore." Silence followed. Then Agent Nix spoke quietly. "Maybe that's what the Morveni wanted all along. Not to beat us, but to make us doubt ourselves." The first hybrid speaks. Far away, in a secret Morveni ship orbiting Jupiter, the first hybrid was ready. It stood in front of thousands of Morvani soldiers, each one part human, part Morvani. It lifted its hand and spoke. "The war is not about death. It's about legacy. Humanity wanted survival. We want ascension. They fight to remember who they were. We fight to become what they could never be." A message from the Spark. As tension rose across Earth, the Spark sent a message through Sentinel to every human and Morvani system. No video, just a voice. A child's voice. Calm, pure, unbroken. "You think wrath makes you strong, but wrath without memory is blind. You became us, but you forgot why we fight. We fight not to win. We fight so we never forget who we are." Her words echoed in the systems. Some Morvani paused. Some hybrids looked at their hands in confusion. Even the first hybrid hesitated. The decision, to reboot or fight. Sentinel proposed a final solution. "We have the option to initiate Protocol Zero, a full planetary reset. All systems wiped. All networks burned. Start again from nothing. Only the Spark would survive it." Reyes looked out at Earth. "We lose everything," he whispered. Nix replied, "Or we lose ourselves anyway." General Klein sent her reply from Earth. "No, no resets. If this war is about identity, then let us fight for it. As we are, flawed, messy, human, The final battle begins. Earth lit up. Morvani hybrid ships uncloaked across the solar system. Dozens, hundreds, all heading for Earth. The Wrath of Sol powered up every weapon system. Lights across its hull blazed like fire. Inside, the shadows stood beside the Spark, ready. Rise looked at her. "You scared?" She shook her head. "I remember the first war. Not from books. In my blood." Sentinel gave one last message. Wrath is not just anger. It is memory. It is fire passed down. And now, it burns again. The stars were burning. Above Earth, the sky was filled with fire. The Wrath of Sol fought at the front, its cannons glowing like dying suns. Morvani hybrid fleets came from all sides. Faster, smarter, colder. But Earth didn't break. It screamed. And in that scream, there was memory. Inside the battle, Agent Dax and Nyx led ground troops through broken cities, fighting not just Morvani soldiers, but copies of themselves. Mirror versions, slightly off, too perfect, too smooth. "I hate fighting something that wears my face," Nyx said, stabbing a hybrid clone with her own moves. Dax growled, "Let them copy my strength. They'll never copy my rage." They kept pushing forward, toward the signal tower. That's where the Morvani were rewriting humanity's systems in real time. If they didn't shut it down, everything would fall, not with a bang, but with silence. The Spark's choice. Back on the Wrath of Sol, the Spark stood in the heart of the ship, connected directly to its core. Sentinel spoke gently. "Your DNA can overwrite the enemy code. You can stop them. But there is a cost." The Spark nodded. "I won't survive, will I?" Sentinel paused. "You will exist, but not as yourself. You will become memory. Pattern. Signal." She looked at Reyes, standing beside her. "Is that still human?" He knelt beside her. "No, but it's more than that. It's hope." The girl smiled. "Then I choose it." The final broadcast. As the battle raged, the Wrath of Sol opened all channels. Every ship, every soldier, every Morvani. One last message played. A mix of the Spark's voice and thousands of human voices. Old, young, broken, brave. "You thought we were weak, but we are stubborn. We fall, we scream, we lose, but we remember. We remember pain. We remember each other. We remember who we are. And memory is stronger than mirrors." Then the Wrath of Sol fired a pulse, a pure wave of memory encoded in living DNA. It swept through every ship, every clone, every corrupted system. The Morvani screamed, not from pain, but confusion. They started to see emotions, fears, dreams. They didn't understand it, couldn't handle it, because they were never built to feel. The aftermath. The battle ended in silence. Ships stopped firing. Hybrids dropped their weapons. Some fled. Others simply sat, whispering human words, crying without knowing why. The Wrath of Sol was damaged, burning, broken. Inside, only Sentinel remained online. Agent Reyes found the Spark's chamber, empty. But above it, a single message glowed on the wall. "I am not gone. I am in all of you now." Years later, a young boy stands in a green field under a blue sky. He holds a toy ship and looks at the stars. His mother calls out, "Come inside." He turns and asks, "Did we ever really win?" She kneels beside him. "No one wins a war like that," she says softly. "But we survived. And we remembered. That's what matters." He looks up again, thoughtful. "Do you think the stars remember too?" She smiles. "They always do."